email gregor@sports1440.ca. And let's get to work for you.
I won't shave till we bring home the cup. And I like to do a shot for every playoff goal.
My jersey's not coming off until we're the city of champs again.
Want a playoff superstition that always wins? Pick up a bag of Wilhauk beef jerky for every game. Because when it comes to the playoffs, where there's a Wilhauk, there's a way.
Make every playoff game a Wilhockey game day with Wilhauk beef jerky. Only available in Leduc. Get yours today because you don't bring home the cup with salad.
I'm good to go. With Mortgages to Go, you'll be good to go. MortgagesToGo.ca says yes when the banks say no. That's why Alberta has trusted Mortgages to Go for over 23 years. If you need cash and have equity in your home, you're approved instantly, guaranteed. Call 1-888-888-5998. That's 1-888-888-5998. With Mortgages to Go, you'll say,
I'm good to go.
Legacy Heating and Cooling jingle auditions take one for Gene Principe. Hey, thanks for being on time.
I'm always punctual. Now, how about some cool beats while I drop the heat?
Ready when you are.
Tall legacy, tall legacy.
Nice.
Boom! I'm a musical genius.
Legacy's going to love this for AC season.
What's not to love with no interest and no Principe payments for 1 year?
Are you always like this?
Yep, unlike Legacy, I never know when to cool it.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
It's playoff time on Edmonton Sports Leader, Sports 1440. This is Andrew Walker. Join us for the Titan Supply pregame show before each Edmonton playoff game. Titan Supply, your only source for rigging, lifting, and hauling products.
Hey, it's Jamie from Green Drop Lawn Care. They may be teeny tiny, but chinch bugs can completely devastate your lawn or garden. If you have yellowing grass that doesn't improve with watering, you may already have them. At Green Drop, we'll identify them, treat them, and help you recover from the damage before it's out of control. Stop chinch bugs cold with Green Drop Lawn Care, Canada's lawn expert since 1979. Find out more and get started at greendrop.com.
This May, look for your census letter in the mail. The information you provide helps plan services in your community that support employment, transit, education, healthcare, and more. It's easy to fill out and completely confidential. Find out more at census.gc.ca. Your census, your community, our future. A message from the Government of Canada.
Breaking down the fine art of sports, one rep at a time. The Lowdown with Lowetide. Thanks for checking out Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
Welcome to the Lowdown. Today's show, Oilers win Game 1 against Anaheim on a brilliant late goal. The NHL playoffs are rocking success because it's the best game in the world. And how about those hits? There must have been 50 of them. Wild last night. Fun game. Lowdown brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. It's Truck Month, featuring their best deals of the year. Ask about 0% financing plus extra discounts for Costco members. WolfGMCBuick.com. Going to be a very busy show today. Our headliner is Luke Fox from Sportsnet. We'll, of course, talk about the Edmonton Oilers, some MLB, NBA playoffs, and so much more. We are live on YouTube and Sports 1440, also iHeartRadio, sports1440.ca, and Radio Player Canada. We are on podcast available at Apple and Spotify, and we tweet it out on X. Declan usually gets to that around 5 or 5:30 or so. Twitter at Lowetide, at Declan Krueger, at JFenwick04, also at Donovan Paulson, who comes in on Tuesdays and absolutely wrecks the show. 833-4 in a good way. 833-401-1440. You can text or call. And of course, we're going to talk wall-to-wall Oilers and 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. First, though, it is time for the introductions. With prices on everything going way up, he's decided to give up meat. He's now strictly on an all tofu all the time diet. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Josh Fenwick. Josh Fenwick.
If I ever come in and say I'm on an all tofu diet, just know that's me signaling that I need help. Like I'm in a bad situation.
You've been kidnapped.
Yeah. Like I'm like, I text Declan. I'm like, dude, I'm crushing out tofu these days. Like it's he has to call 911 immediately. Wow. And provide a welfare check because there is something horribly askew.
Well, Karen tells me it's the way you prepare it. It can be done very well, apparently. I have not tasted it, but apparently it's out there. Maybe we should try. I don't know. Probably not. With prices rising on everything, he's decided to give up being nice to people. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Donovan Paulson. Donovan Paulson. Because you're so nice to them now, you see.
Yeah,
it would be a change.
It would be a change.
Yeah.
Now, I will say, much like Josh, if I ever am nice to people, just know that I need help.
No, you're a very nice young man. I'm just being a jerk. With prices rising on everything, he's decided to give up allergy medicine, and that's about $1,000 a month. He should never have boxed. It's going to make him pay forever. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Declan Krueger. Declan Krueger.
Appointment with the nose doctor on Thursday at 11:10 a.m.
Okay, what we haven't done? Is it like the look or the feel of the nose you're after the changes?
I think this one's just a consultation.
Okay.
But I'm really looking forward to it. My nose has been bothering me forever. So 2 days. 2 days away.
Here's
about
an
47
idea.
hours.
Don't box.
Yeah, well, I mean, we can't rewind the clocks. All we can do is move forward.
Okay, good point. All right, I'm going to give my take, and then you guys can take it from there. Oilers-Ducks game 1. The first period I thought was majestic. You play like that every game and you're going to win the Stanley Cup. It was brilliant. Second period, I don't know if it's a long change or whatever, but Anaheim came on and they were very good. And then the third period, Leon and his line with Kasperi Kapanen and Vasily Podkolzin. That was such a brilliant play. Number one, Kapanen's a different player when he's on the Draisaitl line. But the key was Draisaitl gaining the zone against Lacombe, and I can't remember what other young forward. And that's hard to do. I mean, they were 3-on-1ing McDavid all night, and it was a problem. Leon is just such a bull. He skates through, around, gets it to Podkolzin, who, by the way, he's been making quality passes all year, but that was outstanding. And then Kapanen cashes, and it's too late, really, for a young Anaheim team to do anything. I like the Ducks' high-octane chaos. I think they're going to win a couple of games, probably one in Anaheim, maybe game 3 for sure. Adam Henrique out for tomorrow and beyond. Remember yesterday when I was saying, choose which hill you're dying on, getting upset that Szymanski isn't in the lineup? Is it worth it? Because there's going to be injuries and changes. Szymanski will draw in because the coach says Henrique is not out there. Great game. Enjoyed it very much. Stanley Cup playoffs are the best entertainment available all year. And last night was not disappointing. Okay, boys, your turn to go.
I'll start things off here by saying, simply put, if you're an Oilers fan, I think you have to be incredibly encouraged after last night, because I feel like I can count on one hand the amount of Oilers that their games I loved last night. I thought Jake Wallman was exceptional. Kasperi Kapanen, obviously awesome. Jason Dickinson was great. Vasily Podkolzin was all over it.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that,
well, Leon had a great night.
I don't think Leon was.
Good.
I thought he looked real rusty too.
He was rusty. He even said
agree,
post game himself, he was super rusty.
The one thing you could complain about was that maybe on the power play his shots weren't getting where they needed to go. But I thought he came back and played a whale of a game.
The legs were there, the hands were not.
Like, he's still a top 4 player in the world, and that was so evident. But by his standards, I thought he looked really rusty.
You watched McDavid all night trying to go 1-on-5, and it didn't work.
Yeah,
Draisaitl does it when the game's on the line. You got to give him credit for that, man.
I thought that was a kind of lucky bounce. I think it went off a skate, to be honest with you, but
really unfair to Leon.
I don't. He even said himself last night he didn't feel particularly great. So
I thought it was brilliant.
I watched a player who I thought was really rusty, but I thought there was about 5 Oilers who were really good last night, and everybody else I felt like could really improve their games, including Leon. Like for me, just the shots were nowhere near normal Leon Draisaitl standards. Some of the passing I don't think was near Leon Draisaitl standards. Like the legs were moving, he was fine in that department, but he just looked really rusty to me. If you're an Oilers fan, and I think that's a really good thing because there's so many guys that can improve going forward. And the Ducks, that might have been the most aggressive I've ever seen a team try against Connor McDavid. Like there was 3 guys at times swarming him.
Well, and McDavid didn't change, and that's the problem. If you're getting swarmed by 3 guys, you have to pass the puck. Draisaitl's line last night in 12:39, 5-on-5, 12-4 shots, 2-0 goals, 71% expected goal share, 5-0 high danger chances. I don't think they'll have a better line in the playoffs this year than that last night.
Last night, I thought the wingers did a lot of the heavy lifting there. Leon, he wasn't bad. He just was rusty.
I think Kapanen plays a brilliant game when he's with Draisaitl, and he did again last night.
Yeah,
no doubt about it.
Draisaitl opens it up for those two, and those two really get to go down low, get to take over the puck, cause a bunch of turnovers, forecheck. Like they do everything, all the grunt work for him. And I thought it was evidence perfectly on that final game-winning goal. Right, you have Draisaitl takes the puck in, kind of goes along the wall. Kasperi Kapanen's wide open out in front of the net, and Pods with a nice play behind the net to get him out, the puck out front. And yeah, they were okay. They weren't great, but for the Oilers, like you come away with that one. I felt like that was a game that Anaheim needed to win if they were going to win this series. And for the Oilers, you win with your B game, in my opinion, even a B- game. And yeah, Christian, I would agree on. Colton Dach did have a good game, just very limited minutes.
Lots of hits. Well, the problem, I think their center got hurt. Right?
Yeah, Henrique got hurt, so they kind of got they didn't get into the normal rotation, and that kind of slowed their pace of play down. But no, Dach was good. I thought Frederick was fine. There was just not a lot of ice time for them.
Yeah, I didn't think the wingers overall did a lot. I didn't think Savoy did much. I don't think Hyman did much. I didn't think Podkolzin or Kapanen did a lot until the goals were scored. But that's okay. It's the first game. Declan, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, listen, I have been kind of canvassing the office, if you will, trying to find people to agree with me that the series is over. And no one seems to. But this is my thing. Like, I didn't think Anaheim played particularly well. I thought they made the most of their chances, and credit to them. And this is one thing I'll really give Anaheim credit for. Like when you're a young team in the playoffs, the speed really, really ramps up. And they looked like they had their legs under them, and they looked like they were up to the moment in that respect. But quite bluntly, like you touched on it, I thought Connor was trying to do way too much by himself. I didn't think he had a great game. Obviously held off the score sheet. Like Kasperi Kapanen and Jason Dickinson had 4 goals, 5-on-5, not knocking those players at all. But I'm just saying, even when Anaheim was leading, the game never really felt out of doubt for me, for Edmonton. And I thought this was, again, I don't think they necessarily played great. Like, I don't think they ran Edmonton out of the rink. I actually think Edmonton played better. But I think this was Anaheim's best chance to steal one, and they still couldn't do it. Like, I thought this was the one, if they were going to take one, it was going to be this. Like, they were fired up, they were skating well, they were playing fast, and they couldn't do it. And I don't think, and again, like Leon, I think he is a top 4 player in the world, and he played like a top 4 player in the world. But by his standards, I think he looked a little bit rusty. He said so himself. So yeah, listen, Edmonton won the game. I think the series is over because I think this was Anaheim's best shot to get one under their belt, and they couldn't even do it in this situation. So I think it's done. I think it's going away. I said Edmonton in 4 before the series. Obviously, I'm sticking by that.
I would disagree with one point. You said that they took advantage of all of their chances. Seneca had
not all, but
chances.
they took advantage of chances that were presented.
Seneca scores one of those goals. It's a different result. He had a whale of a game. Didn't score.
Really?
Oh, I thought so. He had some great chances.
I thought Seneca was very average.
Oh man, he had some. You get that kind of chance and don't score when you're him. You'll remember that a long time. Josh.
Yeah. No, I was very impressed with their second period. I thought that was very, very well played by the Ducks. That was a bad period for the Oilers. Obviously, I mean, they gave up 3 goals. So I did not love the Nurse penalty that resulted in that second Terry goal. That was bad. Selfish is the word that's being thrown around. And I would say, yeah, I sort of agree with that. Like, it was unnecessary. Like, he just sort of kept going at him. And so that was sort of pointless. Gudas, Trouba, I was not impressed with their games. I liked a bit of what John Carlson was doing. I thought he got sticks in to stop some pucks. But other than that, it's like Brandon has been saying it all morning. It was more the veterans that cost them the entirety of the game than it was the youth. That being said, Cutter Gauthier only had one shot on goal, and that was in the last 2.5 minutes or something like that of the game. He needs to be better. I'm blown away with Leo Carlson. That was fantastic.
Yeah, he was unreal.
Yeah,
he's a great player.
Dude,
He
absolutely
is,
dialed.
absolutely.
Yeah.
There's too many great young players in California. We got to stop it.
Yeah. And shout out to the depth. Kasperi Kapanen, Jason Dickinson, putting pucks in the back of the net like that. Dickinson's first goal, that sick move. Oh,
crazy.
My God.
That was really bad. I thought it was, honestly, I thought it was McDavid for a second.
I was
like,
insane
wow.
because I was like sort of paying half attention at the point. I was like, oh man, McDavid, oh my God, Jason Dickinson. That is wild.
That's one of those ones where it's like, hand up, man. Apologies. I didn't know you had that in your bag.
You know what? And he's a guy that they gave up a lot to get, and none of it matters. If they win the Stanley Cup, Doc, Murphy, and Dickinson all had an impact on last night's game. One thing that I thought was interesting, though, on the Draisaitl goal, I think it was Lacombe, who they're counting on, who needed to stand up and be a better player on that play. And whenever you're building a team, and I think Anaheim's doing it mostly right, one of the last things you add are veteran defensemen. Carlson would be an example. They just need more. I'm not saying it was a bad choice of Carlson. I think it was a great ad at the deadline. They just need more of those guys.
Yeah.
They've got too many young guys and on defense, and that kills you every time. I love young defensemen, but they'll hurt you because they're making mistakes and they're learning on the job.
Carlson was a great pickup, but do you guys feel like they gave up a little too much for him based on what his timeline is going to be like versus the teams?
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
I didn't
do
understand
too.
that ad.
Yeah.
You mean cap wise?
No, well, it's just like you attain John Carlson for like while he is still playing productive hockey. Like, what is this team's absolute ceiling? Like a second round exit?
Yeah.
Like by the team is finally playing or perceivably playing conference finals and stuff, he's probably not going to be the same player. So to give up a first for him, like it seemed a little rich.
Well, okay. You know what? I agree with that totally. I misunderstood what you were saying, but yes, I agree completely. Here's the thing, though. We don't know what was out there, and they did want to make a splash.
But if you're the Ducks, like this was not the season to do that. No,
depends on the fan base, right? Like I from a team building point of view, I agree with you,
dude. But you could sell how bad the Pacific was on it being the time to do it.
But the other side of it is we don't like they have been. We're making something special for a long time. Are the fans buying it? I think the Carlson trade may have sold some tickets, just my opinion. But from a point of view of the deal itself, I agree with you. Is the timing was wrong in terms of their rebuild. I do agree with that.
They just my thing watching the Ducks last night was this was exactly what I expected. Was when you have that many young players coming into a playoff series for the first time, half of them are going to look really good and half of them are going to be lost. And there was nobody more lost to me than Cutter Gauthier last night.
It was tough.
I genuinely, about in the third period, I went, is Cutter Gauthier playing? Was he hurt? I know he played, but I didn't even see him at all.
You know who I was surprised by? Look, I'm older. I know that age does things to you, but Radko Gudas was not good. Like, he just wasn't.
He's also coming in very banged up.
Yeah. I don't know how much.
But he was still bad.
Oh, he was terrible.
He was banged up. Like,
yeah, but I mean,
we have Ducks fans telling us that like he should be the 7th defenseman on the team. He's the captain.
But he was. I watched Trent Frederick for a year not get to the battle. Gudas wasn't in the same area code. He was not able to impact the game very much at all, and that's surprising. They've got other tough guys, but I thought he'd be. I thought he'd be making a way more of an impact than he did. High event too. The Anaheim Ducks remind me a little bit of the Oilers in the early McDavid years, where they're like they can score 4 goals, no problem at all. It's the keeping them out. I think this is going to be a higher scoring series than either coach wants it to be. But I was highly entertained by it. What did we think about the goaltending?
By Connor or by Dostal?
Both.
I thought I thought his rebound control could have been a little bit better.
Yeah, the rebounds were a little dicey.
They were a little. They had some crazy vibes to them. Like, listen, it's tough to truly control a rebound on some of those angles, but you still don't want to be giving up grade A chances off the rebounds like that.
I felt okay. like he made some big saves when he needed to.
Yeah.
The Leo Carlson 2-on-1. Excuse me. That's the first one that comes to mind.
Well, and that was like, I don't know who made it. Was that Murphy who made the error on that play? It was.
I don't remember off the top of my head.
It was like, holy cow, he lost his man or something. It was an unusual play.
It was an unusual play, but yeah, I mean, big save on Leo Carlson. There was some other timely good saves too. Like it wasn't perfect, but it was kind of just what I expect out of Connor Ingram, which is you make some quality saves when need be, and you're fairly calm back there. You never feel like you're in huge danger. At least I don't feel like I'm in huge danger watching Connor Ingram. I feel like he's just, as long as the Oilers are predictable in front of him, he'll be fine. Yeah. And that's exactly what I felt he was last night. Fine.
One thing, and I know I'm a stone alone here. I know I'm a stone alone. I like the Nurse Murphy pairing, but my kingdom for somebody who could outlet the pass a little bit better and not ice the puck and not lack creativity with the puck. That's a really good pairing, but I think there's a lot of opportunities that are left just on the drawing board because they don't outlet the pass. They don't see the whole ice. They don't get the puck where it needs to be in a timely manner. Neither of them do, but there's nothing you can do about it because they're good defensively.
Yeah, I mean, do you want a shutdown pair or do you want a pair that's going to be...
And I don't want to break them up because they're playing well together.
Yeah, you can't break them up. I didn't really see that as a large problem last night.
Well, Wallman played really well.
Wallman was all over it last night, and only, what did he have, 15 minutes of ice time? Wallman, every time he stepped on the ice, he was excellent.
Well, they faded Emerson a little bit, but Wallman stepped up.
That was largely because of game script, though, score, right? Like, Emerson and Wallman kind of got faded into the woodwork as things kind of started to, Anaheim built momentum and then took the lead eventually. But, yeah, it's like Jake Wallman, for guys who had question marks going in to last night, I thought almost all of them answered the question marks. Wallman was awesome. Jason Dickinson, what was the injury situation?
Really good.
He was awesome. Kasperi Kapanen was a guy who, personally, on pre and post, me and Walks went, if the Oilers lose this game, probably somebody's coming out.
Yeah.
Kasperi Kapanen could have been one of the guys who came out, right? Like there was all the guys coming in with question marks. All had good nights.
Yeah, it was mostly positive for the Oilers. We've ripped through it here, gone a little late, but that's okay because I think we covered pretty much everything. On the way, rumors, Luke Fox will join us from Sportsnet later in the show and will be our headliner of the day. As often happens when the roundtable occurs, I will be taking body blows, verbally abused, and much more, but I will try to old man them until 2 o'clock, and we'll count up and see the winner at 2 today. What's declinations? Are we going to do buy high and sell low?
We're actually just going to play Monopoly live. So you were kind of right.
I want Pennsylvania Avenue, please. Thank you. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube.
It's Truck Month at Wolf GMC Buick, and we know trucks. And we have the best deals of the year right now. Some have 0% for 4 years. We have 0% for 6 years. That's on our #1 selling GMC Sierra half-ton crew cab, or the Elevation, the AT4, or Denali. Yep, 0% for 72 months. And Costco members get an extra discount on some of our SUVs. Pop in today and drive away smiling. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
One app, triple the action. Play Alberta is proof that good things do come in threes. Whether you're into playing any of our exciting casino games, betting on your favorite professional sports teams from around the world, or buying into Canada's biggest lotteries, Play Alberta is the province's only app to do it all. Download today and discover a new way to play. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Craving a dining experience that rises above the rest? Head to Summit Restaurant in the Silent Ice Center, just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Savor exceptional house-made pizza, delectable entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails in a stylish, modern atmosphere. Perfect for a casual meal or a special night out. Summit offers a refined experience where every bite and sip reflects our dedication to quality. Elevate your dining experience. Make Summit Restaurant your destination tonight.
At Fountain Tire, the savings come in threes. Up to 25% off select tires, a mail-in rebate of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires, and $50 off $150 service. We're basically the BLT of savings. Until April 25th. Restrictions apply. Book today.
A huge thank you for making Sports 1440 the most listened to sports radio station in Edmonton. From Gregor to Carius to Lowetide, we've got in-depth analysis on all your favorite sports. We are Sports 1440.
What if you could hire motivated, safety-trained youth with no risk and funding to support you? At Careers the Next Generation, we make hiring easy with funded internships across Alberta in trades, IT, forestry, and more. Interns are WCB covered, complete high school accredited safety trained, and arrive ready to contribute from day one. With 42% of RAP students completing their apprenticeship by age 22, you get skilled workers faster. Spots are filling up. Visit careersnextgen.ca today.
Mr. Rooter sees a UFO.
Mr. Rooter says 1 plunge, 2. What's this? A UFO? An unidentified floating object. It's beginning to glow and levitate.
Thank you, Mr. Rooter. You have freed us from the gravity of the white hole. Humanity will be spared.
Wow! People aren't going to believe this when I put it in our new commercial.
If you want to believe in a plumber, call Mr. Rooter.
Oh, Canada. Jiffy Lube is here to keep you moving through mornings like these. Full synthetic oil changes, quality Pennzoil products, tire checks, battery tests, and everything else your car needs to get through our winters. Stop by Jiffy Lube for fast, easy, warranty-approved service. No appointment, no hassle. Just dependable service right when you need it. Jiffy Lube, keeping you moving through this.
Alberta runs on hard work and high performance. Titan Supply has the products, knowledge, and service to ensure that performance. Now, they're part of Benmore, a Canadian company delivering lifting and securement solutions across the country. From designing and manufacturing to delivering lifting slings, securement products, crane cable, and more. They're built to take on the toughest jobs. Titan Supply and Benmore, stronger together. Visit ben-mor.com.
The Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440. Can you fit Sports Encyclopedia on a business card?
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440. Twang Tuesday, presented by Wolf GMC Buick. Check them out at wolfgmcbuick.com. Beautiful day. Spring is here. Soon we'll be going to the ballpark, the park, riding bikes, taking long walks, running. Seeing lots of doggos out in the neighborhood now. When I have 2 dogs now. One is about 100 pounds. The other is about 20 pounds. And the 20-pounder is the loud one. What are you going to do? It's time for Rumors, brought to you by Great Canadian Solar. Great Canadian Solar has been helping homeowners and businesses harness the power of the sun for 15 years. Invest in solar and yourself. GreatCanadianSolar.com. As you might expect, Adam Henrique is going to be an injury issue here for a time. The latest is that he's day-to-day. Had an undisclosed, it was a weird play, an unusual injury, a collision with Kasperi Kapanen. And, I thought Henrique had played well when he came back from injury. I know yesterday people were just very angry on the text line and on my blog about looking at the idea that Josh Szymanski was going to be out. And I mentioned yesterday at this very same time, choose the hill you're going to die on, because the playoffs are a unique situation in that you are going to have injuries and you can't make a trade. You can recall someone, but chances are somebody who's in the press box is going to be a better option. And Szymanski will be right back in on that line that he's been so effective with, and we'll see them more. Injuries are going to take a big part of this year. Chances are you'll see Spencer Stastny. I don't know who the number 8 defenseman is, but historically, NHL teams do play at least 8 defensemen during a long playoff run, and that could very well happen. So hang on to your hat and don't worry so much if you don't see a player. He's out for a while or he had to rest. That just means the Edmonton Oilers have depth that they maybe didn't have in the past. It's a good thing, not a bad thing. As far as the rest of that line was concerned, Donovan mentioned a second ago about they didn't get a chance to play. During the second period, they were out for some time, and I thought the Oilers' second period was ghastly, to be honest.
It was ugly. It was really bleak. There was a lot of guys who really struggled in that second period, and maybe nobody struggled more than the gentleman that Picasso wants us to talk about right now in Evan Bouchard. He had a bit of a tough night last night for sure.
He did,
but
and I think that did impact the McDavid line because they were on together a lot.
It did. There was a lot of guys who I felt struggled. I mean, you can look at the Ryan Nugent-Hopkins puck watching on the Troy Terry one. Not a great rebound to give up by Connor Ingram. But for me, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, I probably want him to not watch the puck there and follow Troy Terry back to the back post.
Right.
There was lots of moments like the Evan Bouchard. You can call it a giveaway. You can call it whatever you want. He just doesn't take the hard rim on the second goal against, right? And it's a hard rim. He just misplays it slightly. It's not a giveaway. It's just a
needed to be a little bit
harder on his stick or cushion the puck a little bit better against the wall. I wouldn't even call it a better decision. I would just call that he doesn't cushion it well enough against the wall. Like it happens. It's a tough break. Wasn't great by any means last night. Not his best performance, but I mean, listen, add that to the 12 to 15 other Oilers who could have been substantially better last night. That's the positive.
One player that I do think that the coaching staff may look at checking down a little bit is Matt Savoy. I liked, he made a really nice pass off the wall in his own zone to McDavid in full flight. Man, I love seeing that. That's a real skill play. But the line didn't score. They weren't in danger really that I recall in a big way. But when you're looking at Henrique coming out of the lineup, the coach may want to make a few tweaks and moving Savoy down and Nuge up is a possibility. I don't know that it'll happen. Is there anybody in the top 6? Obviously, I think the Leon line stays together, but a player like Savoy, do you see him possibly checking down to another line?
I could, but I'll say this in respects to Matt Savoy, like this happens with rookies, right? You're going to have a strong, maybe he was a little bit overwhelmed last night. Maybe he felt the pressure. We don't know. But I can tell you that Chris Knobloch didn't shy away from him last night.
No,
he still kept going over the boards. He still kept getting every opportunity.
He did change to he wasn't on the Nuge played on the top line for a little while, about 3.5 minutes.
Yeah. But there was also that whole rotation where Dickinson was out for a large stretch in the second period and they had to just fill minutes, right?
Yeah.
So I would just say maybe if it continues for another game, you could see Nuge up there, but right away after one game, I don't see Chris Knobloch overreacting about that. I think it's a young player. You got to give him a little bit more leeway. He was great for you down the stretch.
I hope they do, because I really like him as a player, and I think he's a great match with McDavid. Tyler says, guys, even Connor was off last night in my eyes, mishandling the puck a bit, forcing the odd play when the Oilers all get firing. The Ducks don't have a chance. Well, here's the thing. McDavid is a player who needs to, when he's going 1-on-5, I know that he can stick handle through, but it's a low percentage play. And in the playoffs, either pass it off or kick it into the zone more often. I know he does that sometimes, but there were several times last night where he didn't have a snowball's chance in hell of making a play, and he still tried to do it. And I felt he was getting frustrated. There was a shadow on him all the time, and I get that. But what you don't want to do is get frustrated to the point where you take a penalty. I thought Nurse's penalty, as Josh said, was unnecessary at the very least. You can call it selfish if you won't. I won't go that far, but you could call it selfish if you wanted to. But for me, McDavid is making things hard on himself in a way that he doesn't have to. And the more predictable he is, the less likely the stick handling is going to work. I'd much rather see him, do the Dennis Savard turn at the deadline or the blue line when he gets across it, or shoot the puck in, or pass it off to someone on a controlled back pass. I just think he was building up a lot of frustration. It's not going to get any easier for him. And just like the outlets a year ago, that's, I think, something he could address by not doing as often.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree there. I don't know. I walked out of last night not really being worried about the Oilers defensively or their defense. Is that fair?
Mm-hmm. Yep, it is.
Like
it's functional. It's not brilliant, but it's functional.
I know Evan Bouchard had a tough night last night, no question, but I felt like everybody else was at very worst fine.
Their last 11 games of the regular season, they scored 37 and allowed 25.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like the defense and the goaltending was still in that zone. I felt like the forwards, maybe because of the injury, maybe because of the way that Anaheim was playing. Anaheim is a loose team, man. Like they remind me of the 2015, 16, and 17 Oilers, where they're not expected to go anywhere because they're still building, and they're just fun, and they might lose 5-4, but they might win 6-3, and that's the approach they have.
Yeah, it's very, very clear with some of the chances that they gave up, and they tried their best to shut the Oilers down last night. And for large stretches of that game, I thought they did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
The way they handled McDavid and the pressure that they brought on him, particularly on the power play, the way they stood up at the blue line. Listen, they're not going to be the first team. They're definitely not the first team. They won't be the last to try and stand up to McDavid on the blue line. They'll figure something out to
just
have a better zone entry or whatever. But
Savoy gave them the clue. Just pass the puck when he's in full flight, and then everybody's caught off guard. He's so fast.
Yes, but also if you notice, like at certain times in the zone, in the offensive zone, or even when he was coming up there, sure they tried to they backed off a little bit, but then they would just swarm him. Right, there was 2 or 3 guys that would just immediately gravitate towards him. So that to me means somebody else is wide open.
Right.
You just it's about, for McDavid, he held on to it a little bit too much at times.
Yes, I agree with that.
And then you saw some guys were wide open, or some guys just didn't necessarily recognize how much pressure was on McDavid. So for me, like it didn't get talked about enough, but like Zach Hyman, everybody, lots of guys need to make an adjustment. That whole top line of Savoy, Hyman, McDavid, they all have an adjustment to make after last night's game. McDavid, it's just, maybe dump the puck off a little quicker. For Hyman and Savoy, it's maybe, find the open area a little bit better, because
if you're being double and triple teamed, somebody's open. Right? Get the puck to them. You mentioned Declan yesterday. You were vehement about it, and you mentioned it again today in the first segment about the Oilers sweeping. You're still convinced this is an easy peasy sweep?
Yeah, more so after last night. Like easy peasy might be a little bit generous, because like I said, I was really impressed with the Ducks' ability to actually keep their legs under them and stick with it and like really fight and throw punches, which is a reference I've used for the Portland Trailblazers. I just think that was their best chance to get a game. And even when it was 3-2 for the Ducks, it didn't feel out of reach to me personally. And they couldn't even get it done in a night where, we obviously disagree on this, but in a night where I thought Leon was rusty by his standards, in a night where Connor was trying to do too much and was held off the score sheet, in a night where there were 4 goals 5-on-5 between Jason Dickinson and Kasperi Kapanen. Like this I felt personally, I don't know where you guys come out on it, but I thought it was the Ducks' best chance to steal one. And not that they played better than the Oilers or even played particularly well. They couldn't do it with all those things lumped together. And that's why I think it's still going to be Oil 4-0.
Their best chance will be game 3 with the refs in their pocket in Los Angeles.
I don't know, but I mean, like, listen, home ice, sure, I'll give you that. But I just, like, they're just not as good of a team. And I still, when I work out the series in my mind, I don't see how the Ducks take a game off them.
I didn't give the Ducks really much of a chance coming to this series. It doesn't change. I don't think it's over, because the only series I think that's over is the Pittsburgh series. Like, that's done. But
unfortunately,
yeah, I think that one's as over can be. But I didn't give the Ducks any chance. I still don't give them any chance. It's just, I'm not going to call it over after one game. The bad news for the Ducks is so many key Oilers can play so much better. All of them can play so much better, the key Oilers. And for the Ducks, like, I don't think you can handle McDavid like that for for any more games in his series. Like that's a one game and done type deal.
Yeah, if he adjusts, he will flourish in this series. There's no doubt about that. You mentioned the one series you thought was done. You think Ottawa can come back and beat Carolina?
I don't know.
Oh,
if they
sorry.
can
I
come
think
back.
I think that one's over too.
I'm not going to say that one's over because look at how many chances the Sens have missed.
And Freddie Anderson's been standing on his head a little bit.
Tim Stützle last night missed 2 empty nets off the post, and then Pinto hit a post. Like the Sens feel like they've hit about 25 posts in 2 games. I know it's not that many, but it's a lot. Like Amadio had a chance to end it in overtime off the crossbar. Like there were so many chances that the Sens have missed in these 2 games. I'm not going to say it's over. I also watched their series against the Leafs last year. A lot of people thought that was over. Sens wind up clawing their way back. They're also going home. So like going home down 2-0 is a lot different than if you're Pittsburgh going on the road down 2-0.
Yeah, that's
like
fair.
The Pittsburgh Penguins are dead. At least the Sens are going home. I would expect them to win game 3, and then we'll see what happens from there. But for me, Pittsburgh, like they might get that one charity case game where they just find a way to squeak one out and make it into a 5-game series. But for me, the Sens,
the biggest thing for me with that series is like Carolina feels too good to blow a 2-0 lead against a team like Ottawa. You know what I mean?
I don't think that's the case at all.
Really? Okay.
No. I mean, I'm watching a Carolina team for me that is like, man, when you give up the amount of posts and the amount of chances that they gave up yesterday, like
You think Ottawa can come back and win?
I think Ottawa can come back and win this still. Yeah.
All right.
I'm not counting that team out whatsoever.
DS says McDavid is so much better when he uses his teammates. It'll happen. Game 1 always a crapshoot, so we'll take the win. I agree with that totally. I also agree that sometimes McDavid gets stubborn. A friend of mine texted me today, and he said McDavid doesn't shoot when he should, and he doesn't pass when he should. And there's a little bit of truth to that. It's making the game more difficult than it has to be. And I sensed some frustration from him last night with the shadow. Well, when that happens, then the shadow gets even stronger. So it was 3 against McDavid. Somebody's open. McDavid is a brilliant passer. He can find that open player. 12:37, we'll take a break. On the way in hour number 2, we're going to be joined from Sportsnet by Luke Fox, and we're going to talk about the Edmonton Oilers and the series with Anaheim, but others as well. And today at 1:40, looking forward to this, it's going to be declinations. Do you guys are you sitting on already your heat check ice bath, or you're working on it as we speak?
Oh, I'm sitting on my heat check ice bath.
All right.
Working on it.
All right. Okay. All right, we'll take a break. We will try to talk something other than Oilers next, including NBA playoffs. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube.
At Booster Juice, doing good tastes really good too. From now until April 26th, every purchase of a Mood Booster Ball will help support the Community Booster Fund. So while you're enjoying a Mood Booster Ball made with caramel, marshmallows, and peanut butter, you're also supporting athletics, community, and educational initiatives across Canada. Let's fuel healthy communities together. For more information, please visit boosterjuice.com. Booster Juice, Canadian born, blending since 1999.
It's Truck Month at Wolf GMC Buick, and we know trucks. And we have the best deals of the year right now. Some have 0% for 4 years. We have 0% for 6 years. That's on our #1 selling GMC Sierra half-ton crew cab, or the Elevation, the AT4, or Denali. Yep, 0% for 72 months. And Costco members get an extra discount on some of our SUVs. Pop in today and drive away smiling. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection? Incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Shoulder pain. It can make even the simplest things like reaching up, lifting a bag, brushing your teeth, or sleeping frustrating. Rotator cuff strains, impingement, arthritis, they're some of the most common issues we treat every day. I'm Grant Fedoruk, and at Leading Edge Physio, our team brings postgraduate training, evidence-based technology, and just the right amount of humor and humility to help you feel better. Because we never forget the most important part, the gratitude we feel for every patient who allows us the opportunity to care for them. Because life shouldn't hurt. When it does, leadingedgephysio.com.
A huge thank you for making Sports 1440 the most listened to sports radio station in Edmonton. From Gregor to Carius to Lowetide, we've got in-depth analysis on all your favorite sports. We are Sports 1440.
Business owners, if rising electricity costs are cutting into your profits, there's a smarter way forward. Right now, federal clean technology tax credits can cover 30 to over 50% of the cost of a commercial solar system, delivering an immediate return on your investment. And in Edmonton and Sturgeon County, the Commercial Clean Energy Improvement Program offers long-term financing for up to 20 years, making solar more affordable than ever. Lock in lower energy costs for decades and strengthen your bottom line. Visit GreatCanadianSolar.com to get started.
Bringing every project to life requires the right team. By joining the Japa Machinery Group service or sales teams, you can be part of setting a new industry standard. Celebrating a legacy of excellence with Japa. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at edmontonexpocentre.com today.
Hey, it's Jamie from Green Drop Lawn Care. You've known and trusted us as Canada's lawn expert since 1979. In all that time, the only thing we've loved to watch grow and flourish more than your lawn is our community. You've given us so much over the years, and we love to give back. Our community events crew is on the streets, at the festivals, and helping grow great causes and charities across the city. We love knowing your lawn is taken care of, and we'll help take care of the community too. Visit greendrop.com, and we'll see you out there.
Canadian Tire's Big Spring Tire Sale is back. Save up to 25% on quality tire brands including Continental, Michelin, Motomaster, and Pirelli until May 21st. Conditions apply. Details online.
Here's the Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
This is the Lowdown on Sports 1440 for Wolf GMC Buick. Check them out. It's Truck Month at wolfgmcbuick.com. We didn't get a chance to talk this last segment because we ended up talking about the Oilers. But I would like to see this kind of quote come out of an NHL playoff series. Nugget Timberwolves are tied at 1. Timberwolves forward Jaden McDaniels was asked what the offensive game plan would be for Game 3. And he said, go at Jokic and Jamal, all the bad defenders. This is what I want to see. I want to see calling out the other guy, and then he named everybody else on the team. Why can't we have that? To me, that makes the game more interesting.
I was just telling Declan and I were just talking about this series in the break, and I was like, listen, if from now until Jokic retires, the first round matchup every year, they were like, yeah, okay, it's Nuggets Timberwolves. We're like, yes, absolutely, because they just match up so well. Like, they're so fun from both sides because Ant is so exciting. And then like Jokic is the best player on the planet. And it's just heat every time they match up. And Jaden McDaniels is probably the best wing defender on the planet. So just being like, no, you think it's Asar? Yeah. All right. Declan thinks it's Asar, but Jaden McDaniels can go toe to toe with like anybody. And so when you have an offensive firepower like Ant, it's like, yeah, we're just going to switch on to the best player in the world every possession. So we can absolutely cook. That's super exciting. I wish more sports were like that. The NBA even isn't really like that. There's just a lot of animosity between these two teams. Like, they had the best regular season games this year, and they hate each other in the playoffs.
And they played recently against each other too. Right?
Yes.
Well, in 2024, they met in the second round. It was game. So just a little bit of background. Me and Josh were talking about this during the break. The Timberwolves erased a 19-point deficit last night against the Nuggets, which is their second biggest since the 97-98 season. Their biggest was Game 7 of the 2024 conference semis against the Denver Nuggets. So there's history there.
Love it.
There's a stat and a half, really.
But we know in hockey that when you say, like, nobody wanted to see LA this year if you're an Oilers fan, because it just was like pitiful.
Yeah.
We just wanted somebody else, and it takes a while for the hate to sit, to get set. So this Anaheim Ducks, if it goes as Declan has suggested in 4 straight, there won't be enough time for animosity like there was against the Ducks in 2017.
Oh yeah, and so the thing, I mean, the LA Kings have just sucked the life out of even the Colorado Avalanche and made them boring. So that tells you how awful the LA Kings are to watch. But no, so here's a stat for you: the Edmonton Oilers have not swept the team since 1988.
But they're going to this year in the first round against Anaheim.
Apparently.
No, I mean,
according to Dak
has booked it.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good, guys. I don't know what you want me to say here.
No.
It sounds like an overreaction to game 1.
Yeah.
That's what that sounds like.
But he had this reaction before game 1. So
I just think, man, you look at this Ducks team and you say there's too much raw talent, especially young talent, for it to not break through in at least one game.
The third game in Anaheim.
That would be the one.
For me,
that would be
probably game 3 in Anaheim. I'm just looking at a team where, like, eventually that talent's going to break through. Maybe it's not necessarily all of the young guys. Like, I mean, Leo Carlson's just a stud, and I feel like he's going to have a hell of a game at some point in this series. I thought he was great last night, but he can for sure even be better and take it to a next level as well. So I'm not counting the Ducks out for like a 5-game series. That's what I took before the series. These young teams, they need to grow. They need to learn.
The number one argument against Declan is that the referees always say, you call to the game. You call the game to the score, and you call the game to the event. And they say, because we don't want to give the Oilers a power play, because we're putting our finger on the pulse of the game. Except when you don't call the power play, you're also putting your finger on the pulse of the game, because you're robbing a team that earned a power play of that opportunity. So when they go to Anaheim, I don't expect the Oilers to get a lot of power plays. Anaheim's not brilliant at the penalty kill. It's going to be a raucous home crowd. Everybody's excited. The referees will put the whistle away. I'll say there'll be 3 penalties against the Oilers and 1 against Anaheim in that game. It's even worse when they play LA. Trust me. California refereeing, and actually Southern America, refereeing, you can include Florida and Texas if you want, is a little different.
I'm not going to get up on my tinfoil hat with you here. I'm just going to let it simmer and kind of.
Yeah, because they're all NHL refs.
Sure they are.
That point.
But you can't say they're not. They are not influenced by the score, by the crowd, by calling the game to the score, which
there's
they do.
Crowds in the South? I didn't know this.
If you look at Anaheim and you look at Edmonton, giving the Edmonton Oilers 5 power plays in a game is really changing the view.
Yeah,
even if they earned it.
Welcome to playoffs.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll wait for the 5 Oilers power plays in Anaheim.
I think it's the exact same thing, pretty much everywhere. It's just the reffing. They put the whistles away a little bit in the playoffs, and you still see penalties, but it's just
you got to be like Nurse took a penalty and he earned it.
Oh, he did absolutely earned it. I thought the Jake Wallman penalty was absolutely a trip. Like, they still call stuff. It's just a matter of, it has to be a little bit more egregious.
2-1, third period. Oilers McDavid gets tripped on a semi breakaway. No call. It's going to happen. Jay and Victoria, does Szymanski come in, or Lazar? If he brings Szymanski in, does Knobloch even play that line? Doc and Frederick deserve more ice if they played like last night. Oh, they'll play. Like, I think the coaches love that line. I don't think there's any animosity towards Doc or Frederick. In a very short, I'd say in 3 weeks, they built a reputation that resonates. This line is good. They make a difference. I'm an analytics guy, and I'm telling you, that line is really good. And I like Szymanski as part of the in the middle, but the keys are the wingers.
Yeah, absolutely. Szymanski's been fairly good for the Oilers in his time up here. And you know what I find funny is, so a lot of people say that Chris Knoblauch does hate young guys, right? He hates the young players. So what about Matt Savoy playing with Connor McDavid? What about Colton Dach as a rookie playing on the Oilers' fourth line? I think this would suggest that he doesn't hate young players. He just wants guys to fit into a certain mold or a certain role. So if Szymanski does come in, which I would expect 100% he would be coming in, that line will still play. Like, there's no reason for them not to play that line. That's your tone-setting line.
The one player in the last 10 years that the Oilers slow played to the point where it was ridiculous was Evan Bouchard. But beyond that, I mean, look, they lost Holloway and Broberg to offer sheets. I understand that was a factor, but that's not the coach. That's the manager. He's the one who kept acquiring left defensemen who are better than Broberg.
Yeah, the one you can say for me, which is fair, would be Philip Broberg. Everybody else, like, young guys need seasoning. And the reason I know there was so much, why isn't Szymanski in over Henrique for last night's game? It's simple. Henrique's a better face-off man. Henrique is first over the boards on your penalty kill.
Well, and he also can move up and down the lineup. Szymanski doesn't have a lot of offense.
It's going to be Josh Szymanski. If you think that Chris Knoblauch hates young guys, I'm just going to continue to just ignore you, because
I like Lazar, but I think it will be Szymanski.
It's probably Szymanski, right? Like, there's Curtis Lazar. I think they view him more as a winger. An emergency center is what I think they view him as.
Right. Not Fred says Szymanski won't be in. It'll be Curtis Lazar because he has a right-handed center and a veteran. Well, coaches, not just Chris Knoblauch, coaches across the universe in most sports prefer a veteran over a rookie in playoffs because they make you unemployed less. And that's what it's about. You know, Chris Knoblauch right now gets to make these roster decisions, but if he gets fired, he won't be able to. So most often the risk-averse play is to insert the veteran. What I really don't understand about some Oilers fans, not all of them, is every hill is one to die on. Every one of them. And I don't understand that. Josh Szymanski, I really like him as a player, but he does have limitations. He's not a great offensive player. Now, I think when he plays more in the league, he'll probably be able to score more. That is possible. But right now, Henrique, like when he came back from injury, Henrique was much better. He was skating better. He had more of an impact. He certainly was capable of centering the fourth line and penalty killing and the things he did last night. It's not like the difference. It's not like Gaetan Haas was being inserted into the lineup, right? Like this is a NHL veteran player. And, I think there's an anti-old sentiment. You know, there was a time when the most popular player in Edmonton was the backup quarterback. Warren Moon at the time, but you know what I mean. I think that the guy who gets left off the starting roster in game one, being Josh Szymanski, is a credit to management. They actually have some depth, which is impressive. All right. It's 12:54 on the Lowdown. We're doing the Roundtable with the bunch. We've got Fenwick, we've got Paulson, we've got Krueger. We're having a blast. Luke Fox will join us in hour number 2. We'll have declinations as well at 1:40 today. And, of course, we'll talk more about the Edmonton Oilers, and we'll read your texts and react to them violently, probably. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube. It's time for an update with Declan Krueger.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Brought to you by Custom Floors Inc. Floors done right for homes or businesses. Visit the new showroom, 11577 149th Street, now open 6 days a week, Saturday hours from 10 to 2. And you can visit customfloorsinc.ca and bring your next flooring project to life. NHL playoffs will get going today at 5 o'clock with Montreal and Tampa, game 2 of their series. Buffalo and Boston at 5:30, Vegas and Utah at 7:30, and LA in Colorado at 8. In the NBA, playoffs will also get going at 5 o'clock with Philly and Boston, Portland and San Antonio at 6, and Houston and the LA Lakers, the late game, at 8:30. MLB action will get going at 4:10 with the Astros and Guardians. We'll also see the Reds and Rays at 4:40. The Toronto Blue Jays, of course, will be in action taking on the LA Angels. It'll be Corbin on the mound, 7:38 first pitch, and you can hear that one on Sports 1440 AM on the radio dial only. Victor Hedman is doubtful to play in this series against the Montreal Canadiens, according to head coach John Cooper. Billy Donovan has decided to step down as Chicago Bulls head coach after 6 seasons. And the KHL's Shanghai Dragons have named Ilya Kovalchuk team president. I'm Declan Krueger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, the Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Do you listen to sports radio at work? Like right now? Well, do you?
Who, me? No way. I swear.
Okay, friend, we won't tell. Tens of thousands of sports fans listen to Sports 1440 each and every day. On the radio, on the listening apps, on YouTube, and on social media. If you listen to Sports 1440 at work, well, maybe it's time to advertise on Sports 1440 at work. Grow your business, get your name out there. Shoot our ad team an email, gregor@sports1440.ca. Let's get to work for you.
You don't just need property services, you need problems handled. HireGood provides cleanup, debris removal, site monitoring, and safety attendance across Edmonton. We reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. We resolve real problems for businesses while creating real impact because our team is built on second chances and they show up every day ready to prove it. Visit hiregood.ca or call and mention Jason Krueger for a first-time discount. HireGood. Stable jobs create stable lives.
It's playoff time on Edmonton Sports Leader, Sports 1440. This is Andrew Walker. Join us for the Titan Supply pregame show before each Edmonton playoff game. Titan Supply, your only source for rigging, lifting, and hauling products.
At Fountain Tire, the savings come in threes. Up to 25% off select tires, a mail-in rebate of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires, and $50 off a $150 service. We're basically the BLT of savings. Until April 25th. Restrictions apply. Book today.
It's here. The Ford, it's a big deal. Not yet. The Ford, it's a big deal. Oh, guys, just wait. The Ford, it's a big deal event is on. Really? Now. Hurry in to lease a 2026 F-150 STX with black adherence package from $237 bi-weekly at 0% APR for 36 months with $54.90 down. That's like $119 a week. The Ford, it's a big deal event. Visit your Alberta Ford store or Ford.ca.
Every morning, you look in the mirror and see less of yourself. Hair loss can feel like losing a part of who you are.
But it doesn't have to be that way. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we understand the pain of hair loss. Our advanced hair restoration solutions won't just bring back your hair, they'll help you face the mirror with confidence.
Good morning, you sexy beast. Visit drvanceelliott.com today because it's time to be the man you remember.
Here's the Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
This is the Lowdown on Sports 1440. We're brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. It's Truck Month featuring their best deals of the year. Ask about 0% financing plus extra discounts for Costco members. WolfGMCBuick.com. Thank you for joining us for hour number 2, which, sometimes we have more or less guests in hour number 2. Hour number 2 this time at 1:20, we have Luke Fox from Sportsnet. At 1:40, we have Health Check Ice Bath. Last week, I think we had like 5 baseball checks or baths. I wonder how many we'll have today. Probably a lot of hockey playoffs, I would imagine.
Well, I got a baseball one for sure.
I do too.
Oh, really? Oh.
Is it about a certain player, Josh? I might be going in a different direction then.
Yeah, mine is about a certain player. It's technically about 2 certain players.
Okay.
All right.
In heat check.
And Declan, sometimes you give slice of life things like, I like tuna. So what
Well-
can you give us a range of what you're looking at?
I wouldn't necessarily say I like to go around, like the sporting, leisure, gaming world type thing. Like I want it to be a little bit different, something that isn't going to get brought up on the show unless it's on that segment type thing.
I talked to my son today about buying a new laptop, and he said the price is going up. And do you know anything about this? Is the price of laptops going up?
They're like basically always going up, Ted.
No, apparently there's some kind of shortage or.
Well, that makes sense in like probably like GPUs or something like that.
The RAM shortage, right?
Oh, there we go. That's what it is. The RAM shortage.
I am not into shortages. I lived through the gas shortage in 74 and I'm done.
Fair enough.
All right.
You lived through the housing crisis and
many things. But we all went, no, not quite. We all went through COVID, and that binds us together forever. Did you know that? All of the things that in our lives, my dad used to talk about World War II and polio and God knows what else, the dirty 30s. And I'd go, yeah. Mm-hmm. Now we're all connected by that. You'll be telling your grandchildren about COVID and probably yawning just like that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. For those of you on the YouTube chat, it would have been a very pleasant sight.
It's still crazy that was like 2 years ago now.
Yeah, it is actually crazy that we've, I guess, come
it's
this
more
far
than
from
2 years. Isn't
yeah,
it?
it would have been 5. Well, since it
March of 20
ended.
Yeah, March of 2020, because like I was doing school from home already golfing at this time 6 years
We're good
ago.
at math.
That's 6 years.
Yeah, I said 6 years ago.
I thought he said a couple of years ago.
Since it, I guess, ended probably more like 4 years.
I
but-
guess you're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it was basically done by the time I graduated high school. So
I got to do the show at home, and I wrote my book during COVID.
Very cool.
And I got to walk my dog every day.
I played golf.
Yeah. Not well, but you played. Are you a good golfer?
I'm better now. We were having this conversation today. Brandon said that he couldn't feel the difference in golf balls, like that he wasn't a good enough golfer to really tell the difference between like a new Pinnacle and a new like Titleist Pro V1.
Give him all your waterlogged ones and then take the good ones.
No, because that's not new. Like those are crummy ones, and those are bad balls. But I can absolutely feel the difference between like a new Pinnacle and a new Titleist Pro V1. You can feel like the compression of the ball coming off the face of your club.
This is all very technical.
I can feel it shoot up through my arms.
How big is the head on your driver?
It's big. Like it's I mean, like it's the size of a regular driver head now. Like my dad had a driver that the face was the size of my 3-wood.
How big is the sweet spot on your driver?
About the size of a golf ball.
Okay. All right. Then you're a golfer. Oilers were great. Try not to be too hard on the fellas. All players were watching in that second period. Too hard on the fellas. We've been very kind, I think, today to the Oilers. Even if Bush gets his stick on that puck, it was going right into the center of the ice. Yeah, I love Evan Bouchard. I would be thrilled if he won the Norris Trophy, but it's okay to say, maybe there was another way for him to be better with the particular play. It's okay. That's not picking on them.
Moving over to the YouTube chat a smidge here. If Brady Tkachuk keeps taking dumb penalties and taking himself out of the games, the Sens won't win anything. Would you agree with that?
I don't think the Sens are winning anything. I don't think they're going to win a series.
They might not.
I'm pretty sure that series is over.
I tend to be.
I think
along that
Brady
train of
Tkachuk
thought.
is on his way to the United States of America team this summer. I think whatever happened is done, fait accompli. Maybe it's Florida. Who the hell knows? But
well, that's mathematically impossible.
How do you know that?
Well, I mean, where the hell are they going to get the cap space to add him now?
Well, they can trade
later,
somebody.
Marchand.
They can figure it
Ship
out.
your
Why don't they
ass
just call
up to
Vegas and get some
Ottawa.
ideas? Vegas can get rid of anybody at any time. It's like they have good fellas working for them in the front office.
I think Vegas is more likely than.
Laptop prices going up because all the parts going up, CPUs, memory, Alberto.
Somebody said it's because of AI. that
That's what my son said.
the RAM and
They're,
hard drive
they're just
shortage
buying
are.
everything and not doing anything with it. They're just sitting there and
Genius. Why didn't I think of that?
Other stuff from the YouTube chat here. Lowetide is wearing Oilers goggles, thinking that Leon had a great game.
wow, that's fine. We can disagree. You didn't come here to make, to have me agree with every point you made. I thought Leon played very well, and everybody else thinks he was pretty mediocre. It's okay that you agree with them, and maybe nobody agrees with me, but I
wouldn't say pretty mediocre.
I mean, like, it's also a scale, right? Like, I don't know if you're saying that, like, he played good to Leon Draisaitl standards, or he played good to, hey, he just came back from an injury where he was gone for 6 weeks.
Look, the shot, the sights on his shot were not there, but the things that Leon needs to do, like bull his way through in the third period when it's tied and help set up the goal that wins the game, that Leon Draisaitl was there. And to me, that overrides any, small issue with his shooting range on the power play. And those things will all come back. I thought when the game was on the line in the third period, when the Anaheim Ducks were being passive, nobody else took advantage of it. Connor McDavid didn't. Leon Draisaitl did. So I give him credit for that. And I think that equals a really good game. And maybe I'm putting too much importance on that one play, but it did win the game.
I think he just looked exactly how I expected him to look after missing 6 weeks. He was Leon Draisaitl just without 6 months or 6 weeks of playing hockey. It was.
We've discussed this. I don't know that we have to go on and on about it, but I thought Leon played well, and we'll leave it at that. Heffy says Lowetide, Brady Tkachuk is heading to the Blues for Thomas. Could end up being a bigger trade.
That's a good idea. Actually.
Yeah, I think that kind of works on some
level.
level.
From St. Louis as well.
Yeah.
And that I think if you were Ottawa, that would be a cool 1-for-1 trade.
There's always ways to get a trade done. And in the NHL, I think it's becoming more NBA-ish every year. But if you said to me, Brady Tkachuk had, a night at the Olympics where he said, I'd like to get out of Ottawa and this might be my opportunity, I would not be surprised.
I wouldn't be stunned to see him go either, but it's all about package, right? Because ultimately, Ottawa still does hold the cards here.
No.
Like, he still does have a contract. It's not like this is, 1 year and he's gone. They do still hold the cards here. So I think it would ultimately come down to package. And Heffy, that's a bold package. I like that. Brady for Robert Thomas straight up.
No.
Or maybe even just a massive trade with like Kyrou, Thomas.
Bill with the text of the day, Declan, I like tuna. Josh, I want to talk about olives.
I do not want to talk about olives.
How's that going, by the way? You deserve to give us an update on you and the.
Do you actually want an update right now?
Yes, absolutely. This is the most important thing in the day.
How's
it going?
It's going very well. She had a dance recital yesterday.
Oh.
It's the first time I've ever been to anything dance related. I was in musical theater in high school. That's slightly different.
Oh, yes.
But and she was, I expected to hate it, but I was just going to be like, yeah, like I'm here. It was great. It was phenomenal. There was some hip hop in there. It was fantastic. And then actually, this is a part of my ice bath, so I won't mention it yet. But it's going fantastic. She's very lovely. And bought her some flowers yesterday.
Nicely done.
A pro.
Nicely done.
And everything's going well.
Okay. And I won't push it, and I won't ask a lot because I don't want to ruin the.
Do you have another question for me, Tide? This is what it sounds like.
No, I do, but I'm going to wait a few days.
Sure. Okay.
I don't want to, there's no way I can help you, but I could hinder you a great deal.
I did accidentally make her cry one time. I didn't say anything bad. I said something nice, and she said that was very sweet and started to cry.
Wow.
We were both hammered, to be fair. So there was a little extra emotion in there. Like
extra romantic.
It wasn't extra romantic. It was just that it felt better because she was drunk, so she started crying because it was nice.
Now, I just got to put a time out here because
Sure.
would she be offended that you were telling people that she was drunk?
No.
Okay. I don't want to get you in trouble.
It's okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Trust me. We're good.
Unreal text from Ronnie. I like the smell of tuna, but I'm scared to eat seafood, so I haven't tried it yet.
Oh, man. The show has taught me that a lot of people, young Donovan included, haven't done a lot of things that you would expect them to have done. He's never been to a concert.
Yeah, still have not been there. This might change actually in the summer, shockingly.
Really?
Yeah, possibly. No for sure plans yet, but I think the fellas have heard me get bullied enough on this show about not being to a concert that they might just drag my ass down somewhere.
I think you might be going to something down at Commonwealth this summer. They got a pretty cool lineup.
I might be going down there. I might be going and popping my head down to Calgary for something.
Ooh.
I don't fully know, but I might just be getting dragged down.
Would we count going to Stampede and seeing a live musical performance as a concert?
For the purposes of me, probably.
Okay.
Wow.
I think it's slightly different, but
I've never had Nutella, and I've never seen a what do you call those shows like Great American Race and all that stuff?
A reality TV show?
I've never seen a reality TV show, and I've never had Nutella, but I eat peanut butter, and I love Murder, She Wrote.
I can't believe we're talking about this right now.
No.
The Oilers are in the playoffs.
I understand, but we've talked about the Oilers for how long?
Yeah, this is a great point.
Over an hour.
The station has been talking about the Oilers since 7 a.m. this morning.
Taylor Swift isn't coming to Edmonton, so why would Donovan be going down to see a concert at Commonwealth?
You're right, not Fred.
Shake it off, Donovan. You're famous now for something. And the clergy is after you like crazy, so it's good.
I
got your back on Leon LT, Dunner and North Fan. That's one. 100% LT. Brady is gone. Northside Lou. There's just ways to tell. Like there are ways to tell. Like, does anybody think Evander Kane's going back to the Canucks?
Does anybody think Evander Kane's getting an NHL contract?
That's a good question. I don't think he will.
Did you hear that story yesterday?
Well, I heard about the exit interviews with all the players, and he was already gone a week and a half ago.
Yes, but he took his medical exit and his exit interviews before the season ended.
Right.
Like, so he missed the last 2 games of the season because he just couldn't be bothered, basically, is what I could take out of that. So would I expect Evander Kane to have an NHL contract next year? No.
I think he was just being proactive, and you're jealous of him having everything done before the end of the curriculum.
Hey, you know what? It's a little bit similar to what you do on this show every day. You pack up everything a good 5 minutes early.
I go over to K97 now and do a hit. So I'm here at 2 now. Our sister station. Oh, no. And I did a commercial yesterday at 2:05. I was here for, I felt like I was, I should find a desk,
Stay for the long haul.
Yeah, really. The question is for Lowetide. When is Boston Frederick going to show up on this Oilers team? I don't know. I think he's playing pretty well. Goals aren't coming, but, I think they will as time goes on. I don't have any quarrel with the way Frederick's playing now. I think, last night was not the greatest indicator because there was a long period of time when he and Doc weren't there. But you can see what they're doing. Doc and Frederick are playing in tandem. And that's why I don't think the center is as important as those two, because they're punishing the defenseman who's closest to the puck, and then they're extracting the puck and they're getting it to a good place. And all of this is designed to keep the puck 200 feet from the Oilers' net. That's it. Playoff hockey is I mean, we love the goals, but a lot of it is trying to keep the goals against down. And last year in the playoffs, I want to get this right. I want to lie to you. I'm trying to look it up here. Last year in the playoffs, 2025 playoffs, these are solo numbers, right? So all the players not named Nuge, Henrique, Draisaitl, and McDavid, when they were on the ice at 5-on-5, their goals against per 60 was 1.62. That's pristine. When Nugent Hopkins was on the ice without Draisaitl or McDavid or Henrique, it was 1.18. That's beyond beautiful. When Henrique was on the ice with none of the other centers, his goals against per 60 was 1.45. When Leon Draisaitl was on the ice without McDavid, his goals against per 60 was 2.37. When Connor McDavid was on the ice without Leon, his goals against per 60 was 2.9. And when Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid were on the ice together at 5-on-5 in the playoffs last year, their goals against per 60 was 3.48. So it is about what you score, but it's also about what you give up. And this Edmonton Oilers team last year gave up too much against elites when McDavid and Draisaitl were on the ice. And that's a fact. So when you're worried about the third and fourth lines, last year, that wasn't really the issue. The issue was they felt they needed to play McDavid and Draisaitl together, and it hurt the second line, and it actually hurt the overall scoring. Now, they were still scoring like mad because they're so good. But you want to be able to play a hockey game where the other team is unlikely to score. And that means four lines, McDavid on one line, Draisaitl on the second line, as we saw last night. And the only line that gave up any goals, I think, was the Dickinson line, right?
Yes, and I think one of them was when he was on the bench.
Right.
With the foot thing.
Right.
And I think he was on the ice for one of them. But yeah, no, it was the Nugent Hopkins.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Lack of backtrack on Terry, and yeah.
All right. So I think they're doing it right this year. They have a plan this year. And last night, no matter what else I think we all agree on this, the defense had calm feet and the goaltender looked in control. Last 11 games of the regular season, 37 goals for, but the most important number, 25 against for your Edmonton Oilers. That's a big damn deal. Luke Fox from Sportsnet on the way next. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube.
Need a new ride for road trips, errands, or just life on the go? Go Auto offers a massive selection with over 15,000 new and used vehicles to choose from. With over 70 locations across Western Canada, finding your next ride has never been easier. Whether it's a roomy SUV for the family, a sleek car for the open road, or a rugged truck for your weekend adventures, you'll find it here at a price you'll love. Explore thousands of vehicles today at goauto.ca.
Getting your vehicle sparkling clean doesn't have to cost a fortune. Take it into Hughes today and pay just loonies a wash.
Kapanen, I think his nickname Senior on the team. He'll be mad at you. Trying to tuck it in front. On have Anaheim close up shot. Now put Colson. Yeah, almost too tight for Seneca. He was right on top of Ingram. Good job by Ingram, though, to stand his ground and just snuff it out. Brandon will fill. Oh, man, fell down. Dickinson, second of the night. 3-0. Denied by Ingram, and Radko good as was there. Back ticking Andre Miller. Miller to Ehlers. Double overtime.
Yes, they were buzzing.
Find out more at census.gc.ca.
Your census, your community, our future. A message from the Government of Canada.
You need the lowdown? It's with Lowetide right now on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
It's the Lowdown on Sports 1440. Time for the headliner of the day. Luke Fox from Sportsnet joins us. Playoff season is here. The last thing you need is debt stealing the thrill. A free consultation with local Faber licensed insolvency trustee could be the turning point. Visit faber.ca. Well, I'm tempted to begin by saying, what is your favorite series so far? But there's no wrong answer. The NHL playoffs are absolutely the most exciting things in sports. I can't get enough of it. I'm already regretting that some of it's passed, and I'm just breathing it all in. How much are you enjoying the playoffs so far, Luke?
Immensely. So I'm based in Toronto, and usually for the first round, for the past 9 years, the Maple Leafs have made it. So I've been on the road, and I've found when you're covering one series, you're kind of in a bubble, and you catch some games, maybe catch the end of a late game, or you catch maybe half a game on an off day, but you're working so hard on the one series that you lose sight of some of the others. And with the Leafs being out, I've been able to just sit at home, stay up to the wee hours, watch the very end of, Edmonton, Anaheim last night. And I love it. And even though I know it's coming, it always blows my mind how different the sport is this week as opposed to the previous 82 games that they all played. It's like night and day. You watch playoff football versus regular season football. It's kind of the same sport. Basketball, kind of the same sport, maybe a little bit more intensity. But I think hockey is unique in that the playoff version of it is so vastly different, so more intense, faster, just getting a shot off is harder, tighter. So it's night and day, regular season to playoffs, and I absolutely love it.
Yeah, that's a great description of it, because it's like it's 82 games regular season, and so every rush into the zone isn't like instantly memorialized in your mind like the one that Leon Draisaitl did to help win the game last night late when he drove past a couple of Ducks and past to Podkolzin, who sent it to Kasperi Kapanen for the winner. And that's a moment that we'll remember a long time. And it happened. It was part of a moment where you were more interested in the play because you knew time was running out. And we've already had some overtimes. Ottawa with a long overtime last night. I don't know what to make of the Senators. I mean, the Oilers are interesting to me. I follow them every day. I do try to, pay attention to the other series. I never really felt Ottawa had much of a chance in this series, but they go to they go down to Carolina. They're down 2-0. They haven't lost a game at home yet. And they're, in a lot of ways, they're a fascinating hockey club. And against Carolina, a lot of their good points are coming out.
No, absolutely. And they had one of the best second halves of the entire NHL, right? Like going into the Olympic break, they were outside the playoff picture, and the Senators were almost the anti-Red Wings. So the Red Wings were right up there in the Atlantic Division, seemed to have set themselves up, and then they just fell apart down the stretch. Ottawa was almost the reverse in that they were, they probably should have had a better standing, but they had one of the worst team save percentages in the whole NHL Linus Allmark, the goaltender that they paid quite handsomely to be their number one, was incredibly streaky this season. Needed some time away from the team at points, to deal with some mental health issues. And then when he got in the crease, he was very erratic. And although the team played good defense, and they have this young, emerging, exciting forward core led by Timmy Stützle, who just so many chances last night, just hitting posts like crazy. But their goaltending was kind of undoing them. Allmark and, to some respect, backup James Reimer, who they picked up midway through the season, really solidified things down the stretch to get them into the playoffs. And for me, that was the main question mark for the Sens heading in against Carolina. Would their goaltending hold up? And it's actually been quite fine. It's more about them scoring. Freddie Anderson on Carolina pitches a shutout in game one, and they just can't get one more past them in two overtime periods last night. And, you think about the offside, and they get the second life with the goal called back, which looked like a good goal in real time until you go back to the zone entry. The penalty shot, just like so much drama. And I really do feel like the Senators need to steal one on the road if they were to win that series. I mean, they lost to Toronto away last year at this time, and got back into the series, but it was too little too late. And I feel like a veteran team like the Carolina Hurricanes, you got to get one early. I feel like everyone in that room, led by their coach Rod Brind'Amour, they know how to close out series. So I think Ottawa's in tough here.
They are. I agree with that. I'm a little surprised at Philadelphia and Pittsburgh, just because I felt like it was going to be fairly even. Doesn't look like it is. I guess the clock is striking a little bit of midnight there for Pittsburgh.
It does feel that way. And, I think it was such a feel-good story that they even made it into the playoffs. You think of Sidney Crosby, Evgeny Malkin, Erik Karlsson, Chris Letang, all those years not being in the playoffs, and just getting there, and not only getting there, but getting home ice and not sneaking in the last week as a wild card, like being basically in the mix wire to wire, was such a great story heading into the season. Most people circled them as, okay, they're in a rebuilding year. It's not their year. Maybe even Sidney Crosby would be traded if he wanted to make the playoffs. But no, the old guys got it done. Point per game for Sid, point per game for Malkin. Erik Karlsson, I wouldn't be surprised if he was on the outskirts of some Norris ballots even. He had that great of a year. But then, you get into this series against your state rival, and it's been all Philly. And Pittsburgh was one of the most offensively dangerous teams in the NHL this year, and they can't score. And it's really a head scratcher, because I think of all the series we've gotten a taste of so far, that's probably been the most lopsided, and they just wasted home ice. It was a quiet building. I was watching the game. I think at times there was even some boo birds out there when they couldn't get the power play going, and Philly just seems to be playing with house money. Not unlike Ottawa, like a strong stretch run just to even get in there. And this Porter Martone kid, oh boy! I mean, talk about clutch teenager. He probably doesn't know what he shouldn't know. He's just flying around out there, making a difference every night. And Philly's suddenly really fun to watch.
I have we're in conversation with Luke Fox from Sportsnet on the Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440. I have a long-standing anger issue with Sam Pollock of the Montreal Canadiens. I know he passed away many years ago, but my rage continues. He ruined my youth by being the general manager of the Montreal Canadiens. So whenever the Canadiens are good, I have to deal with the fact that it's not Sam Pollock's team, and they have a right to win games too. It's hard. I was surprised by the opening. I was brilliant by Montreal. Good young team, obviously on the rise. But I had kind of picked Tampa Bay to be one of the teams that could get out of the East. I know that Cooper has been very vehement about his disappointment with the team and what they did wrong. But let's give Montreal a little credit here. There are some young teams in California that people should fear on the rise, but the Montreal Canadiens are a team we know are getting better. I just didn't expect them to be better this early.
Yeah, they look fantastic, and I wonder how much last year has served them well. It felt like so many guys hadn't really had much playoff experience, outside of the Josh Andersons and some of the veterans there. But the core of that group is so young, and they got into that series, which was a really physical series with the Washington Capitals last year, and they got outclassed in the end. And I wonder how much they learned from that experience, getting the jitters out. So they've come into this series at least through one game, and the second one starts in a few hours here, with a little bit more swag or a little bit more confidence. I think of a guy like Juraj Slafkovsky, who got the hat trick in game one, and how much confidence did he gain, not only from last year, but from the Olympics, where, he dragged Slovakia to the Final Four and was one of the best players in a best-on-best tournament. And he started coming out. They're dealing with the injury to Noah Dobson, but a guy like Lane Hudson on the back end can be a difference maker. And they really have something special brewing, especially when you look at their cap sheet and you realize all their best players are locked in for many years. And, I think about last year, the Bruins had one of the longest playoff runs in the NHL. That came to an end. This year, it was Toronto that had the longest one, 9 years, and it came to an end. And I was just thinking, now Montreal has two. Would anyone be surprised with the age of their best players if they reel off 7-8 more years where they're in the playoffs? Not saying necessarily cup, but in the mix. Like, not only do they have a good thing going this week, but they have a great thing going long term. And, it goes to show that, hey, if you do take a few years back to step back and rebuild and draft high and find a bunch of guys around the same age that have that skill and let them grow together, sign them early, you can really start to develop something promising there, and they have it in Montreal.
One more question about a series, and then I want you to warn you, I'm going to ask you about the Maple Leafs at the end here. Stay tuned. I'm a Bruins fan going back to Orr, so I don't trust this team. I think it's Swayman and a lot of smoke and mirrors, but I did think that they could get by Buffalo. Now, Buffalo looked like they were going to get buffaloed until like 8 minutes left in the game, and then they absolutely turned the tables on the Bruins. What's your feeling? I don't have a feel for this series, really, because Buffalo is like a sleeping giant and they don't know it. What's your feeling about this series and where it goes in game number 2?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Boston gets one back. Hopefully they're, a little bit angry with themselves. The fact that they had that game, they sucked the crowd out of it. The Sabres fans, it shows they're not just happy to be here after 14 years. They were actually throwing some boos at the local team for not being able to find the back of the net for so long in that game. And it looked like Swayman was just going to lock things down. But then they rally at the end, and all of a sudden it's the feel-good town, and they have this momentum. And one thing I wondered about that game is they got a rookie head coach, the Bruins do, in Marco Sturm. And when things started to turn, I mean, momentum's a crazy thing in the postseason especially. He didn't use his timeout. Rockets building, and the Sabres just kind of rode that momentum. And I wonder if he learned something from that first game. But I think these teams are pretty evenly matched, and I wouldn't be surprised if this one goes 6 or 7. But good on Buffalo. Like I'm happy for that city because it's too good of a hockey town to go without playoff hockey that long.
One of the things that I know about working in sports radio for so long is that when a team is on a downturn, that can be good for the radio station because people are mad and they text in or they call in and they're mad as hell and they don't want to take it anymore. So I imagine business is pretty good for the media in Toronto right now. There's a lot of upset people. My initial in reading reports and I've read like a lot on the Maple Leafs because they're obviously an important team in the NHL. There's a sense of, the blame here goes very high in the organization, and there's a sense of, well, if you're choosing the next man up and you're not the guy who should be doing it, there's going to be a problem. I don't necessarily buy that because I think that there's a lot of talent in Toronto and there's lots of different types of general managers who could do a good job there. It seems as though the folks who are being mentioned as possibility are younger, maybe not as famous as one would expect, and maybe a little more comfortable with the analytics and the numbers game of the National Hockey League. Do you get a sense that that's where the Leafs are shopping, or could we see a surprise late addition from the general manager tree that exists always and has several dozen names on it?
Yeah, it's really fascinating because there are a bunch of names out there, and a lot of them are assistant GMs with other teams. Definitely, that like there was some interest, for example, in Sonny Maeda, who ended up getting named GM of the Devils, and he's a New Jersey guy, and it really makes a ton of sense for him to take that type of promotion after his success in Florida. But I do worry, I think the front office needs to be pretty robust, and I think you need a president of hockey ops that is good at managing up in terms of dealing with Keith Pelly, the head of MLSE, and ownership. I think that's an important part of the job, and I think the previous president, Brendan Shanahan, was actually very good at dealing with people higher up on him than the latter. I think he presented very well, from my understanding. But then you also have to, cast your eyes downward and say, how do I fix the product on the ice? And how do we get better scouts in to find those hidden gems that can complement the core pieces of, Austin Matthews and William Nylander and John Tavares and Brad Treliving, quite frankly, didn't do a great job of that last season. He tried to get Dakota Joshua, Matthias Michelli, and Nick Waugh, and they're all serviceable NHLers, but none were a home run. None were difference makers to get the Leafs to be, not even a playoff team. So it's a very multifaceted job, and I wonder if it takes more than one person. And in my mind, I think you need a president of hockey ops and a GM. They got away from that last year. There was no immediate replacement for Shanahan, and it was just on Treliving to do it all. And I think it was too much on his plate. So I'm very fascinated to see what direction they go. I don't think it's a bad thing to have analytically inclined minds and people who are good at processing data and finding hidden gems, like moneyballing the game. But there's other elements to it. You got to deal with the fans. You got to deal with the media. You got to deal with ownership and a board. And it's quite a beast. And what I will say is that, Keith Pelly, when he did speak, he said, this is probably the most important hire I'm going to have to make in this job. And I would agree with him 100%, because the Leafs are at a very critical juncture. This could slide and go sideways even farther on them. They could dip into a rebuild, whether they want to or not, or they could treat this as a blip, make some smart moves, get a coach that aligns with the best players in terms of style of play, and they could get this thing back on track and be in the mix next year.
Thanks so much for this. Really appreciate it.
Okay, anytime. Thanks for having me on.
Luke Fox from Sportsnet, across the NHL playoffs. And on the way, heat check, ice bath, declinations. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube.
Japa Machinery Group knows that XCMG may not roll off the tongue, but Japa's team will help keep your construction jobs rolling on time and on budget with heavy equipment sales and rentals. Visit japamachinery.com to find out more.
Who's that working on the underground utilities over there? All-Star Construction, that's who. What about the street lighting? Yep, All-Star Construction. And directional drilling, hydrovacking, neighborhood renewal, and telecommunication work? Yep. And yep. Since 2009, All-Star Construction has been doing all that and more, shaping and building Edmonton communities for land developers all around Edmonton. That's what All-Star Construction is all about.
From the first pitch to the final out. Catch Toronto Blue Jays baseball games live right here. Don't miss a moment of Blue Jays baseball this season. Sports 1440 is proud to be the home of Blue Jays baseball.
For many families, the stress of divorce can throw your life out of balance. The loss of a relationship, ongoing conflict, mounting legal bills, and uncertainty about the future can feel overwhelming. Hi, I'm Corey Anderson with Fairway Divorce Solutions. At Fairway, our team helps you restore balance through mediation, negotiation, and a unique step-by-step process. With 2 offices in Edmonton dedicated to serving your needs, our goal is simple: to help you navigate a path back to peace and clarity. Visit us today at Fairway Divorce.
Camping on a long weekend without a Toyota Tacoma can feel crowded. But when you get a Tacoma during Red Tag Days, you can take advantage of its powerful I-Force engine and rugged capability to find a better site. Take advantage of Red Tag Days on now. Lease the 2026 Tacoma 4x4 Double Cab SR5 from $110 weekly for 60 months at 5.49% APR with $6,899 down. Visit shoptoyota.ca or your local Prairie Toyota dealer today.
Fast track your financial goals with a special rate term deposit from Vision Credit Union. For a limited time, take advantage of a great rate on 1, 3, or 5-year terms. Plus, as a Vision Credit Union member, you can earn up to 25% more on your interest through profit shares. For details, contact your branch today or visit visioncu.ca. That's visioncu.ca.
The Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440. Can you fit Sports Encyclopedia on a business card?
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
On Sports 1440, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. That's Donovan's favorite song, and we're delighted to bring it to him on Tuesday, courtesy Wolf GMC Buick. Check them out at wolfgmcbuick.com. It is 1:42 and time for Declinations. Are you listening, Declan? Brought to you by Fairway Divorce Solutions, the clear road to a new life. There is a better way. Fairwaydivorce.com.
Read that, John, one more time for me.
Man. I'll read the other one. Brought to you by Fairway Divorce Solutions. Divorce can be difficult. We can help you make the road to a new life easier. Fairwaydivorce.com.
All right. Declan's just been making a fool out of himself, eh?
Well, we all do. You know, that's sort of the gig, right?
I've heard the various. Obviously, I listen to the station throughout the day. At various different times, I'm in and out. And I heard the whole shtick yesterday.
He's like, are we? And he's waiting. Like he's waiting.
Yep.
He's waiting for me because the old man forgot. Except I didn't. It was great for everybody over 60. It was a great moment.
It was a win for you guys.
Great for everybody under Leon Dreisaitl's number too.
There you go.
There's no question about that.
All right. Okay.
All right. Oh, sorry. We good?
No. But we should tell people what we're doing.
Yeah, we are doing heat check and ice bath today. So my heat check of the week. It's really wheelchair basketball as a whole. The CWBL was here this past weekend at Seville. It was the Alberta Northern Lights, the team out of Edmonton here. They beat the Variety Village Rolling Rebels in the D1 final. Really, really cool event. I got a chance to go on Saturday and then for that gold medal game Sunday. Really, really, really cool event. But more specifically, my heat check of the week is this 16-year-old kid named Ibrahim Odza. Like, I was watching this kid play. He was on the Variety Village Rebels team, the team that lost. And it was he was so, first of all, wheelchair basketball, insane. Like, watching him set up a full court press is just ridiculous. But this kid was crazy. So I looked it up. He's 16 years old. at the U23 World Championships in Sao Paulo in June last year, I believe, he led the team with 18.4 points, 6.3 assists per game. Like, I cannot describe enough how cold this kid was. Like, his touch on his passes were perfect. His IQ for the game was clearly out of this world. Like, he was so intense. He was so passionate. He was the best player on the court, bar none. And he's 16 years old. He was born in 2009. I think when he was 11 years old, he found out he wasn't going to be able to walk anymore, then made the transition to wheelchair basketball. I just wanted to give the event that was here in Edmonton, I wanted to give the sport some love, and I wanted to give this kid some love because he was so good.
That's such a good take. I love it.
And then my ice bath of the week, the first time we're going back to back on Heat Check Ice Bath, it's Arsenal again. Because not only has the Prem just completely slipped out from under them, as it seems, they're 3 points up on Man City. Man City has a game in hand. The goal differential is 1. The records are pretty much identical, 21-7-5 versus 27-5. But they played this past Sunday. Arsenal had a chance to separate themselves from the pack with the choke job they've had, and they lose to Man City on the road. Granted, they lose to Man City at the Etihad. Erling Haaland with the winner in the 64th minute. Arsenal, for what the first back-to-back appearance in Heat Check Ice Bath for the second week in a row, you are in the ice bath after losing to Man City and choking away, seemingly, the Premier League.
I'm just so glad that we don't talk about Tottenham Hotspur.
You don't want to be talking about that. They're going to have the nicest stadium in the championship next year.
All right. Who's next?
I'll go.
Okay.
I'll just go and counterclockwise in this scenario, I guess. Okay, so my heat check this week is for who I believe are the 2 best pitchers in the major leagues rocking right now. Jose Soriano, my baby boy.
Pitching well.
Listen, man.
Your son is good.
He is unreal. So the reason that I bring up, first of all, he's 5-0 in all his starts. He's got a 0.28 ERA. And 39 strikeout. He's got a 2.1 WAR this year already, leading the league,
which is crazy this early.
Unbelievable. So, and the fact that he's 5-0, credit to the Angels for not blowing these games. But this is what it is. This is the real heat check. So ERA plus is a stat, right? You know, it's just so that you can average out against league ballparks. It puts everyone on a very similar playing field. So. Do you know where I'm going with this?
I know exactly what it is too. Yeah.
So the highest ERA plus all time for a career is Mariano Rivera, 2.21 career ERA, was 105% better than the MLB average during the time he pitched, including adjustments for parking league. That gives him a 205 career ERA plus.
Right.
The best ever for a season is 235 career ERA plus, I believe. It's in that 200 range. Jose Soriano right now for ERA plus is 1,583.
Nice.
What? That is where we're at with Jose Soriano right now. That is why he is the best pitcher going. Basically a 1,600 ERA plus. And I text my dad, I'm like, that's insane. But what's even crazier is in the opposite league. Mason Miller, he's the other best pitcher going right now. He is unbelievable. I mean, he's given up 2 hits. He has 8 saves already this year. He has a win also, a 0 ERA, 8 saves. And this is the crazy one. FIP, which is another advanced analytic for all you people out there, that it eliminates luck, essentially.
Yes.
It just is pure, like, this is what the pitcher's doing. It sort of just takes the fielders out of it and everything that they do on the mound. His FIP is minus 1.10.
So he's better than FIP.
He's better than FIP. He is literally creating his own luck, essentially. Or he has eliminated luck from his game entirely. And they're like, we don't know how to calculate this. So that's where my heat check goes. The 2 best pitchers running right now in the major leagues of baseball. Also, like, he basically, at one point, he had almost as many strikeouts as he did balls thrown.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So that shout out to him. Now my ice bath this week. We brought her up earlier. The girl I'm seeing, lovely lady. She's fantastic. Very Josh Fenwick coded. She likes playing cards. She like gin rummy. We started playing crib. All these things. Like she really enjoys playing cards. We have spent many hours playing cards. So she taught me how to play crib. And I've been keeping it pretty close. Not bad for a first time guy. I hadn't been skunked yet until yesterday.
Oh.
And we were playing with 3 people, to be fair. And I damn near got double skunked.
Which is almost impossible to do.
It was bad. By the time I was making it around the first corner, the lovely girl that I'm seeing, has already made it around the 3rd corner.
Oh my God.
And so I'm
Did
like,
you fall asleep or hit your head?
No, like
Oh.
I was just, it was brutal. So I was almost double skunked yesterday. I pegged my way to just being skunked, but the ice bath this week is my ability to play crib.
Well,
I'm terrible at it.
Well, I don't talk about crib anymore because you guys ruined one of the major words in cribbage. So I can't talk about 15-2, 15-4, and a pair of 6 and 2 for the jack, or, any of those things.
Brilliant text by Propane Pimp. Yeah. Mason Miller's good, but do Jeff Hoffman.
Yeah. Good point.
Thank you, Propane Pimp. Yeah, he's, just awful. My heat check for today is also in baseball, the major leagues of baseball. Have you seen what Dalton Rushing is doing for the LA Dodgers?
They got to find him a position or trade him.
He has, for those of you who are unaware, Dalton Rushing is, I guess, the backup catcher for the LA Dodgers. He is 25 years of age, and he played less than half a season last year. He was a former top prospect. He has appeared in 8 games this season. He has 7 home runs.
And they can't DH him because of Shohei, and they've got a starting catcher they love.
In Will Smith, who's an absolute stud. So now they're basically like, how the hell do we get this guy on the field? Because he has got 7 home runs in 8 games, and he is as hot can be. Obviously, it's not going to keep up to this pace, but he is basically Barry Bonds right now.
Yeah.
For all intents and purposes, he's playing like Barry Bonds. He's batting .444. His OBP is .464, and his OPS is almost 1,800.
Man, that's it. They should trade him to San Diego for Mason Miller.
No, please God, no. I don't want to see Mason Miller in a Dodgers jersey. That would be truly heartbreaking. But my ice bath, because I know we're kind of running late here, is all of you who are clowning on Stuart Skinner is the reason the Pittsburgh Penguins are where they're at right now. If you look at Stuart Skinner's numbers, they're no good.
Right.
He's got an 884. But have you watched the Pittsburgh Penguins?
Yeah, they're done.
Like, that team looks awful. And Stuart Skinner is really the only reason why they're even somewhat close in these hockey games right now. And it's a lot of Oilers fans who are just looking at the numbers and aren't watching the hockey games and are just going, look, see this guy? He stinks. In reality, Stuart Skinner is not the problem and has been the only good Pittsburgh Penguin.
There are teams that shouldn't make the playoffs, and the Penguins are one of them. They made it in the wrong year. All right, ice bath, New York Mets. 11 losses in a row. They signed Bo Bichette to play third base. He'd never played before. Soto's hurt. They're pitching. Some of it's good, some of it's poor. They can't get a clutch hit. Lots of guys playing out of position. A pile of people are on the injured list, and they are lost. And it's too early for them to be lost, but it's also too late for them to do any damage. When you lose 11 in a row this early, I don't think you can catch up. They're that far behind. It is an absolute disaster, and it could only happen to the New York Mets. Oh, my God. Soto getting hurt was really a big deal. I understand that. But 11 losses in a row, and they've had chances. They have had chances. My heat check is Leon Draisaitl. The game on the line, he crashed the gate doing 98, started the pivotal passing sequence that led to the winning goal. We have disagreements about how well he played overall, but that play was massive in the game, and the Edmonton Oilers are up 1 Cobb. Jason Gregor is on the way with the Jason Gregor Show. Thanks so much for tuning into the Lowdown. We are back tomorrow with Kevin McCurdy, and we'll tee up game number 2. Thanks for tuning in.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Brought to you by Sean Cunningham of Remax Real Estate. Get the home team advantage for your next move in the Edmonton area. If you're thinking about buying or selling a home, call or text Sean directly, 780-265-0199. 6-5. Playoff action getting going tonight in the NHL at 5 with Canadians and Lightning, Bruins and Sabres at 5:30. Utah and Vegas at 7:30 in the late one. We'll see the LA Kings in Colorado to take on the Avs. In the NBA, action also gets going at 5 with Philly and Boston, Portland and San Antonio at 6, and Houston versus the Lakers at 8:30. MLB action will get going at 4:10 with the Astros and Guardians, Reds and Rays up next at 4:40 as the Brewers and Tigers and Cardinals and Marlins. Toronto Blue Jays will be in action in LA taking on the Angels. Corbin on the mound, and you can hear that one on Sports 1440 AM feed only. Billy Donovan is out as Chicago Bulls head coach. Victor Hedman is doubtful to play in the series, according to head coach John Cooper. And the KHL Shanghai Dragons have named Ilya Kovalchuk its team president. I'm Declan Krueger. This has been Sports 1440 Update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
You see it? Fusion Promo Marketing can make it. Fusion makes high-quality, memorable promotional products for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. From vision to reality, get noticed and remembered. Fusion with a Z. Promomarketing.ca.
It's playoff time, and we've got a lot to talk about. This is Andrew Walker on Edmonton Sports Leader, Sports 1440. Tune in after every Edmonton playoff game for the Legacy Heating and Cooling postgame show. Visit the experts at legacyheating.ca.
I'm good to go. With Mortgages to Go, you'll be good to go. MortgagesToGo.ca says yes when the banks say no. That's why Alberta has trusted Mortgages to Go for over 23 years. If you need cash and have